What's going on, guys? Title of the stream: Born Biracial. Want to talk about a Caucasian lady, a mother. Her name is Susan Graham. Someone mentioned her in a comment a while back and brought her up as far as how she wrote a book. The title of her book is Born Biracial, and that's kind of why I titled the stream here Born Biracial. I want to talk about her. And as I was saying, that somebody in a video or post, whatnot, they posted a comment about this lady, Susan Graham, and how like 20 years ago, she was advocating for a multiracial category on the census. So this is a while ago, but maybe not that many people know about her. I didn't even know about her until, a commenter commented this. So it's pretty interesting. So I'm learning along with you guys. But it's interesting when people do good work, we definitely need to take notice of that and acknowledge that. So there are monoracial people that are advocates for us having our own category. And I think for this lady, Susan Graham, she understands the importance of this mulatto category, let's say. Now, the thing is with the language here, we examine the nomenclature. We know that mulattoes basically kind of get co-opted and entrapped and hijacked within the discussion when they use vague terminology and categories like innocuous categories like mixed race or biracial or multicultural, etc., like that. Like mulattoes get kind of drowned out in a lot of those discussions. That's why for me the specificity is important. So, but I get it. I mean, a lot people who kind of don't like my tone or my delivery, oftentimes you'll find they kind of fall in line with the whole innocuous terminology that's basically too inclusive. It's too inclusive. For me, I stress exclusivity, and that's for preservation of the mulatto identity. Because we make up the bulk and majority of a lot of these discussions, our numbers warrant it. We're around the planet, we're global. Our numbers are on the rise, and oftentimes when we start to have these discussions, then they kind of gear it towards something else and sidetrack the whole discussion. So I think, like I said, with the name of this website, Mixed Race Studies, again, playing on the whole idea that's like, well, mixed race doesn't mean anything. There's no specificity there. But regardless, they do document a lot of stuff that we see going on out here. Mixed race studies, scholarly perspectives on the mixed race experience. Okay. And yeah, someone brought up this lady here. This is like the cover of her book. That's her and her child. Born Biracial: How One Mother Took on Race in America. And she's an advocate for a multiracial category. She was part of the people who were advocating for the two or more race category in the United States to be put on the census back in the early 2000s. So it's been a while. And yeah, Memories Press. So it looks like her book was published 2019. It has the ISBN number here. Yeah. The birth of the national civil rights movement. Susan Graham is a white mother of two biracial children whose father is black. Born Biracial: How One Mother Took on Race in America is the true story of how she brought an invisible population to the forefront and started the multiracial movement. Interesting. So it's a white lady, a white woman, a concerned mom, a Caucasian lady is advocating for the destiny of her own children. Very interesting. So just keep that in mind, all of you white mom biracials, when you go on TikTok and you have these racist black female supremacists who talk about you got a white mom or biracial, keep that in mind. Who's really advocating for you? Who has your best interest? Keep that in mind. Like for me, it's very obvious when what I see is going on. This anti-white mom biracial agenda we see within Blackistan. I'm just so surprised I see a biracial person as a white mom. It's like, and you're still dealing with them. And I get it. I mean, for the biracial baby mama, they don't have a choice. Like, they don't have value anywhere else besides that communitas, so they kind of have to put up with the slander, right? But for all of us, the rest of us dignified, self-respecting biracials that have integrity and pride in ourselves, we're sitting there like, wait a second. They're talking about our parents. Like, these people are way out of pocket. Why are we dealing with them again? Let's cut them off, block them. Let's get them up out of our space. It makes no sense to even deal with them. So Susan Graham, and I want to point out here as well, she specifies right here, is a white mother of two biracial children whose father is black. Okay, the father's black, the mom's white. Okay, that's mulatto. And this is kind of where things get interesting, because the innocuous terminology biracial, yeah, we get it. You're a mixture of two races. Your diffusion is a independent entity that is self-sustaining, that has been for centuries. Some would say millennia. Mulattoes have interbred with mulattoes around the planet, continue to do so, whether it's Cape Verde, whether it's Brazil, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Panama, United States, in England, you name it. So we are a people. We have a name. Let's start to use it. But when they say biracial, that's a split, and then or mixed race, and that's a split, and then it allows for other identities to kind of you know, uh, to basically hijack the whole mulatto identity when they're not specific and they use broad terminology. That's my main issue when I with this whole like mixed race discussion or biracial discussion. That's my main thing when I'm examining the literature and these different sources, different groups you have on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. It's just, well, they need a level of specificity, because if they don't have that level of specificity, like I said, I'm going to repeat myself, that other type of identities can get pushed in there. And that's an issue. It's a big issue. It's why you've had problems with a lot of these quote unquote advocates, etc., for biraciality for some time. She started a simple advocacy group and turned it into a national civil rights movement. This is Susan Graham they're talking about. Along the way, her personal life was suffering. The emotional story of her marriage to a CNN news anchor, being a mother to biracial children, she got a divorce, and remarriage are interwoven in her life story. This is the one story every interracial family should read. Okay. Yeah. The multiracial experience, racial borders as the new frontier. The multiracial experiences is what 1995. This is a whole different book. This is Maria P. Root. Now, Maria P. Root, she wrote I think it's like Mixed Race Bill of Rights, I believe. I read it on this channel. I covered it a couple years ago. If you guys are not familiar with it, and it's on this website, I'll share the link, of course. There's a mixed race studies, because as they put here, scholarly perspectives on the mixed race experience. So they definitely collect all this data. And so I guess I'll jump in real quick. Yeah, this Maria P. Root. In her bold new edited volume, The Multiracial Experience, Maria P. Root challenges current theoretical and political conceptualizations of race by examining the experience of mixed race individuals, articulating questions that will form the basis for future discussions of race and identity. The contributors tackle concepts such as redefining ethnicity when race is less central to the definition of how multiracial model might dismantle our negative constructions of race. It's kind of word salad, if you ask me, but let's continue. Researchers and practitioners in ethnic studies, anthropology, education, law, psychology, nursing, social work, and sociology add personal insights in chapter opening vigilance. First time seeing this word, vigilance, while providing integral critical viewpoints, sure to stimulate thinking and discussion. The contributors focus on the most contemporary racial issues, including the racial classification system in the United States Census to the schools. Yeah, that's the main issue that I have encountered examining all of this material. And think a lot of you as well. I mean, that's kind of where a lot of this started. You think of like how the golden sphere started, right? They had a petition. Like, we need our classification, we need protection, right? And I'm with that, support that. And fall in line with the 9 criteria. The criteria 1 is the whole name designation. What are you going to call yourself, right? You're going to call yourself, label yourself an identity based off the color of your skin. That's not a smart move. To me, it's all about heritage. Your heritage. Mulatto encompasses all of that. It's about our European and African heritage, which makes us unique. That is us. And then don't let these interlopers tell you because they got 10%, or I'm sorry, 30% colonizer DNA, that they're the same as a mulatto. They're not. You got people like me who got to be the bad guy. I'll let you know. We're exclusive. You're not. Okay. They'll try to interlope with the gals and kind of the more inclusive people who will just, do their whole little like feminist LGBT thing. But for the men who are serious and who are realistic, they're going to be like, yeah, well, we can't allow that. Okay. Yeah. So there is a cutoff and there is a high level of exclusivity. There has to be. If you guys want to protect yourself, you want to protect the integrity, you actually want to be a group, you're a mulatto, you identify as mulatto. Okay. Well, there's some parameters to follow. If we just let everybody in, they just destroy everything you set out for yourself. And it's like a circular kind of revolving door. Like, you get maneuvered back into the position you're trying to get out of. You're trying to get out from being a subordinate, from being a quote unquote like light black person, or a light skinned black is what they call you, right? Where they can crack all these kind of light skin jokes. But if you make one dark skin joke, you're a racist, colorist, anti-black, right? And we're like, how the hell did this happen? How is it that they can talk about you, but you talk about them, they want to cry? So you don't want to be in that subordinate position. You want your own identity, okay? Your own rule book, your own philosophies, your own destiny that serves you. You want your own. You want to get out from being in that subordinate position. And you have to have a level of exclusivity to initiate that. Because I already see this happening. Once you include everybody else, they're going to drown your voices out. You're going to be back to where you were in square one. It's not a good thing. And you definitely are going to need some masculine voices in males to reinforce that. I'm sorry, because for males there, we're going to be more competitive and more exclusive. It's just the way it is. Tell me if I'm wrong, please. I want you to tell me that I'm wrong. Show me what you got. Right? Including the racial classification system from the United States Census. Yeah, and that's like I said, the number one thing too. Like, and it's the ladies, it's the mulatto women who are mulatto identified, who are basically the spearheads of this. You have the mixed lens. The mixed lens, I promote and share her petition. She has a petition started to reinstate the mulatto classification. I love everything that mixed lens is standing for. And then you also have Flowers Telling Stewart, who's a day one supporter of mine. I love everything Flowers represents and is standing for. She as well has a petition to reinstate the mulatto classification. And then you also have Renata Mulata. I love and support Renata Mulata. She's a strong advocate, probably the strongest advocate and voice out here. Like, it's the mulatto women. From my encounters, making content, being up here, doing this material, it's been mulatto women like Renata Mulata, Flowers Telling Stewart, and now I see a new voice, mixed lens, mulatto women, mulatto identified, who are active, developing petitions, promoting the mulatto identity. So they get all the praise and credit with me. I mean, I'm always going to promote them, give them praise and credit. And so that's what they're doing now. And that's the thing I've been seeing for the past few years. That's an important thing for us, right? We can all agree on that. Back then, it was important for Maria P. Root and Susan Graham. It's very important to us right now. Still the same thing. We're still kind of in the battle. We're still in this battle to reinstate a racial classification, mulatto, that fits us, those of us who are mulatto identified. Where things, like I said, I'm going to repeat myself, things could get kind of like, hairy per se, is they want to include all these other identities and attach it to the mulatto identity, but that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. Like, we're very ultra specific. Mulatto is specific, and I'm not saying we're the biggest victims of everybody else, but we have unique challenges that nobody else has because of the unique polarization between the racial groups in this country, specifically black, white. The inception of this nation is based off that kind of dynamic, and we're quote unquote stuck in the middle for all intents and purposes. And I often laugh and tell people I'd rather be stuck in the middle than stuck at the bottom, but that's neither here or there. Okay. And the whole thing about who's on the top and who's on the bottom, like, that's a shifting paradigm we see right in front of our eyes. Because the people who claim to historically be on top and on top, on top, they're crying because they see their position sinking, right? They see everyone else getting uplifted above them. So it's interesting. It's changing. Everything's changing. And I know the MAGA, which I'm anti-MAGA. The fact that I'm not for MAGA, that doesn't mean I'm a liberal. Okay, just because the MAGA cultists, they hijack the whole Republican and the right side of politics in the United States, there's a lot of these conservatives or Republicans against Trump. I mean, just because I hate MAGA, that doesn't mean I'm a liberal leftist. Let's get that out the way. And that's kind of the issue, the polarization of politics. But where I was getting at with that is, like, you have the MAGA crowd, like, make America great again. Let's go back, make it great again, right? Because they see their position shifting in society. They're not like the top dog. They're being drowned out and maneuvered in a certain way in society, and they want to maintain kind of status quo, right? So they're not really on top as they claim. So just want to throw that out there as far as this concept of being stuck in the middle. I'm not stuck anywhere. I'm not serving any masters who don't have my best interest at heart. And we've come to find out this arrangement we have, where they want to trick and, like, use this one drop rule, this antiquated, policy to maneuver mulattoes into the black box. It's not working for us. I'm not the only guy. Look, you don't like my delivery. I had some idiot, I had to block, and this is some creepy weirdo, person, um like, just the ball jokes and all this stuff. I don't like how you look, and that's the best they got, is some shit about that you're bald. It's like, okay, whatever, yeah, that's the best. That's all they got. It's like, look, I'm not the same as you people, period. It's nothing new. I've been saying it for it hurts some people's feelings. That's fine. You'll get over it. You'll grow a pair. I mean, some of them, they want to grow a pair. They're whatever. They're not men. They, or at least I don't know. Maybe they are biologically, but whatever. And yeah, so they don't like my delivery, but it's like, then the ad hominem attacks. It's like, look, mulattoes are here. We're not going anywhere. More voices are going to come. This is only the beginning, right? And people act like 3 years is a long time. It's like, I've barely been putting in any work, really. I mean, this is the least I can do is speak to you guys a couple times a week, right? The least I can do. Put some material out there. Take time out of my day. I mean, this is at night where I'm, like, just chilling before I hit the hay, wake up, rinse, cycle, and repeat, do it all over again. But you guys need voices. You need a voice who advocates for you. If you're mulatto identified, you need a voice, voices, plural, out here. I'm one voice amongst others. So the difference between race, ethnicity, and colorism, yeah, and they throw in colorism. Remember, this is a lady, Maria, okay? And then she puts gender and sexuality. This is what I'm talking about with the innocuous language with, like, mixed race. Because what happens is they crowbar in these other identities, like intersectionality. So then they crowbar in LGBT. This is why most of your mixed race, quote unquote, mixed race discussions all over the blogosphere and social media, you're going to find some sprinkled in feminism and LGBTism. And we're like, wait a second, how the hell did this happen? I'm just a mulatto person that wants, like, surround myself with mulatto people, have a sense of community. Like, what the hell about this gender sexuality stuff? Like, who you sleep, who your partner is, and who you share a bed with, that's your business. I don't care. But why did they throw this into this quote unquote academic discussion? Why is this an integral part? They're trying to make it an integral part. They're able to do that when they have innocuous language like multiracial experience, when they say mixed race and all. Then that's how they're able to crowbar this sexuality gender. That, you see, when I make it mulatto specific, that's it, baby. It's all mulatto. You're a mulatto female, you're a mulatto man, period. That's it. I don't care who you go to bed, that's your business. But they're bringing in sexuality. Why? Let's stay focused here, guys. Like, the whole point is, let's stay focused on mulatto. Like I said earlier, that the main issue here that we've been talking about, I've been talking about 3 years, even with the golden sphere, they were talking about the whole racial classification. And there's three mulatto women: Renata Mulatta, the mixed lens, and Flowers Telling Stewart. These mulatto women are mulatto identified. They're dedicated. They have petitions out here to reinstate the mulatto category. And it's like, this is the main thing for us. We're fighting for the classification. We want our own classification. Okay. And then this is a difference between race, ethnicity, colorism, gender, sexuality in a multicultural context. See, this stuff is where the confusion comes in. And it's no shade to Maria P. Root. I'm just letting you guys know I'm seeing this. I'm seeing, I'm making the connection. And this is what I don't endorse it. I don't endorse where they try to throw in this gender dynamic when it doesn't need to be there. I'm a mulatto man. I'm a straight mulatto man. And I support mulatto women. A lot of my supporters are mulatto women, my moderators, all etc. And it's like, and I just shouted out these three magnificent mulatto women who are spearheads in the mulatto community, mulatto movement, as far as their petitions, their activism with getting us recognition and classification. So why are they throwing in this gender stuff? It's unnecessary to split us. We're all one. We're working towards the same goal, which is already laid out right here, which is including the racial classification system. Yeah, United States Census, right? And they throw in sexuality. So I'm just saying, like, I don't want to derail the whole kind of stream and conversation, but this is what I've noted and have encountered being involved in this discussion for the past few years. Is the number one clue that they're going to throw in some of this kind of, LGBT kind of feminism, gender stuff, is when they don't want to use specific terminology like mulatto. When they want to throw in multiracial or mixed race, then you kind of, okay, they're going to try to wiggle in something else. That's not mulatto, you know? And the thing is, I'm going to go back to the lady here, Susan Graham, white lady, wrote a book, right? Her partner was black. She has mulatto children, biracial children, right? So yeah, you should advocate for children. They're specific. They're European African, mulatto, right? But then they get involved in advocacy work, or they find a network of other mixed people, and then they run into this. And it's like, yeah, colorism. It's like, why are this is not important. This is not important for us. Okay. And then gender, sexuality, this stuff, it's not important for us. It's not. If you guys think it is important for us, please tell me it is. I will gladly debate you any day, any time of the week. Tell me how colorism affects mulatto people. Please tell me. Okay. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Yeah, multicultural. Yeah, because a lot of this stuff, it's all just confusion. It gets us off our path, right? They divert the whole situation, and then it goes back to intersectionality, which is basically they put lesbian black women at the top of the pyramid who get the most benefits, right? BLM kind of situation, right? And it's like, well, that doesn't promote mulatto women, right? Because then you have a lot of mulatto women who become subordinates to that ideology. I covered, like, over a year ago, it was like a Canadian video of these mulattas, and this mulatto woman boldly was like, I don't want to take that job because that job could go to a dark skinned woman or something like that, like a dark skinned gay woman. And this was a gay mulatta, which there's a lot of them. And I just was like, why do they find it virtuous to be a subordinate? When I say they, I'm saying those specific types who have that type of thinking with the intersectionality, like, where they relinquish their own power and their own uniqueness in their own, yeah, they give up their own power. Being a mulatto woman, they feel sorry, oh, give it to this black lady. See, that's intersectionality. And I don't endorse any of that. Okay. Let me continue on. Ethnic identity and identity formation, transracial adoption. Yeah, transracial, that to me doesn't apply because we're not changing our race, right? So that's for monoracial people who kind of want to get into our discussions. That's where the whole transracial thing where you have people who are basically black and they've discovered that one of their parents is kind of mixed or something, or their parent has like admixture, and now they're trying to cling on to it and be like, well, I'm actually MGM and I'm like, what? You're pro black, you're pro dark skin, you've always been pro black, but one of your parents might be a little mixed or admixed or whatever, and now you're like, you're gonna say you're MGM or mixed race. And it's no hate to the real MGMs, but like I've said this over a year ago, even with the Ant Report. Shout out to Ant Report. He agrees. We're on the same page as that. Where it's like the MGM kind of thing. It's like, man, you got monoracial people with admixture who kind of hijack that. And they invalidate actual biracials and mixed people where they're like, well, we're all mixed, right? That's the main thing they say. We're all mixed. Nobody's pure. Bullshit. But then you have these people who are like over 80% monoracial and they got like a little drop of something and they say they're MGM. Like, why do you guys allow them to do that? I don't. I clown them, okay? And I'm the bad guy because of it. But I'm sitting there like I've already seen this long enough. I'm not letting them come over here and try to mess up what we're doing over here. So that's this whole transracial to me that applies to them where they're mostly black, they've been black identified their whole life. They've realized that their parent was like 10%, non-black. They're like, well, I'm MGM now. Like, what the hell? Who let these people in? Man, they're not over here. They might put their little comments and that's cool, but they're not mulattoes. So yeah, let's leave it at that. In the future of race relations in the United States, the multiracial experience opens up the dialogue to rethink and redefine race and social relations in this country. This volume provides discussions key to all professionals, practitioners, researchers, and students in multicultural issues, ethnic relations, sociology, education, psychology, management, and public health. Interesting. And then this is a table of contents. Now, the multiracial experience, this is Maria P. Root. Racial borders as significant frontier in race relations. And the whole she has right here, part one, human rights. The Bill of Rights for racially mixed people. Yeah, she wrote, they have like a mixed race Bill of Rights. Again, I'm kind of revisiting this because I covered this in a stream like a couple years ago, guys. So it's in the archive somewhere. But you guys can go do a Google search and I'll share this website. You guys can easily find it. But yeah, Maria P. Root, who's not mulatto, um, she's mixed, but she's not mulatto. That's the key thing. I'm trying to be specific with you guys here. And she did come up, she drafted something called like the Mixed Race Bill of Rights. So guys, go check it out. She did that. And yeah, transracial adaptation, it doesn't apply to us. We're not changing our race. We're embracing who we are. And then part two, identity. Part three, this is part of her book, blending and flexibility. Part four, gender and sexual identity. Okay. She has right here ambiguous bodies, locating black, white women in cultural representation, heterosexual alliances to romantic management of racial identity, unnatural boundaries, mixed race, gender, sexual. See, it's like I have no idea why this is even a topic of discussion. It's because it's LGBT, feminism, and the whole intersectionality gets woven into the discussion. And I'm making a delineation that this is not mulatto centered. That's the key thing. And people kind of get it twisted when they go do their research. They go to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or, whatever. And they talk like the mixed race stuff. And they're trying to sort out like if you're a mulatto, if you got a white mom and a black dad, you're mulatto, or vice versa, black mom, white dad. And we're like, how does this apply to you? Like if you are LGBT or something or whatever, then I guess you can relate to that. But for the mulatto people, it's like this is, yeah. I don't know why they throw this in there. Why is this necessary? Gender, sexual identity. I don't give a damn about like your partner and what you do in the bedroom. You're an adult, consenting adult. That's your business. But we're coming over here talking about our racial classification, getting representation, getting counted. People think it's okay to openly discriminate against us. They're not discriminating against you because of your sexual orientation. In some cases, people might do that. And I sympathize with you. I think that's wrong. But in most cases, every case, they look at you and they see a mulatto person. They discriminate against you because you're a mulatto person. Let's be real. As the men, we see, look what they're doing to Drake. They did that with Doja Cat. They did that with Holly Berry. They do that with the Meghan Markle. They discriminate against her because she's mulatto. They discriminate against the rapper Miss Mulatto because she's mulatto. They want to bully her, tell her to change her name. Those are just the celebrity examples, but it happens every day to you guys, even on the microcosmic level, whether at the university, the workplace environment. You guys got stories, share them. Tell me, I'll tell the whole world. This is what this is all about. We're sharing stories. This is part of the community formation. Okay. They got mestizo identity here. Cool. Being USA identity theory. This is a separate work right here. I'm checking out. This is American mixed race, the cultural micro diversity. Who published this? Anthropology's Arts Books, American Mixed Race Culture. Yeah. Roman and Littlefield Publishers Inc. Naomi Zach. Interesting. Yeah. University of Oregon. It's just a separate work here. The main discussion I want to talk about was Susan Graham. Shout out to her because it was a commenter, as I said, who basically, informed me about her. I had no idea that this is a white lady, Caucasian lady who has mulatto children, who was like a advocate for a unique independent mulatto category so her children can get the proper representation. We're in a representative republic, right? But they're trying to maneuver mulattoes to serve these other identities, serve the black identity, serve the LGBT identity. They want us to be like foot soldiers and mules to serve other people. And we don't even have our own like representation. We're sitting here, for me, just doing my own thing. Like, what the hell? I'm looking at all this. It's ridiculous, right? I know I'm not the only one. You guys agree. You guys understand the ridiculous nature of it. How they maneuver us, they try to rob us and steal us of our identity. And again, I'm not positioning us as victims. We're not victims over here. We're not little crying little liberal victims, whatever the political spectrum you guys fall under. But I'm saying is that we're not victims. We're just analyzing the problem. We're going to find solutions. Most of that, in my understanding, in belief, is going to have to be offline. Our networking and coordination offline and moving effectively, strategically. That's going to how we're going to solve this. Just for me, this media, having this channel, it's very essential to get the message out here because I'm connecting with mulattoes around the planet. I got a gentleman, shout out to you. I see you in the chat. Elroy Swartz, South African colored. I got mulattoes in England, the UK, and Brazil, Dominican Republic, around the planet. So it's like these other mulattoes can see this stuff, what's going on, this discussion. And even, American mulattoes, we see this. We just need more people to kind of effectively articulate it in a manner that can resonate with the public. And I'm just doing my part. Not the best, but what else you got out here? What are the voices you got? Let me know. I've been waiting patiently. So with that, that's Susan Graham. Someone brought to my attention her. And there's a map I want to pull up here just to kind of give you guys a basic visual. And this is from the same source, the same website, the mixed race studies. And this is a different article, but it's the same source, same website. Multiracial Americans could represent America's future, some say. This was 2021 Washington Post. It looks like they collected this data. I want to share this with you guys, this map right here. I think you guys are good. Yeah. Now, obviously in the red, it says right here, multiracial populations increase faster than any single race across the United States in the last census. Gains were highest in major metro areas, but the number of people identifying as multiracial also tripled in non-metro areas. It's 2020, 5 years ago, this data here. So it's interesting. So obviously in the metro, that's where the highest gains were, which is obvious for a lot of us, especially if you're in America and you travel the country like I have, you'll see that. Okay, and you see here, I'm from California, I'm from SoCal, and that's where you kind of see the largest kind of we say blurbs, whatever. This dot, this red dot, right? Los Angeles and San Diego, and then you go to Bay Area up here. Yeah. Then you have here next to Southern California, you'll have this is Phoenix, Arizona area. Lot of mixed race people identifying there. Now, that's the key thing. They say mixed race, it could mean white and Asian or white and Hispanic. Like we need the mulatto demographic, the mulatto calculations, but that's going to be kind of on us to do that, right? Because if you leave it to everybody else, they're going to kind of hijack the conversation. They're going to maneuver you around. They're going to make it intersectionality, which is pro-black and pro-LGBT. And that's the thing you got to be careful of. You got to watch for. They're going to try to maneuver you to be a subordinate again. So, and that's within the whole mixed race context, mixed race discussion. That's the tricky part, is navigating some of these circles and spaces. Is they're going to maneuver it back to feminism and lesbianism and pro-blackism, and that's the tricky part. Like, I just want something specific for mulatto, but you have people who are mulatto, but they don't want to be exclusive, and that's, you'll run into some issues there. But we need the data, we need the analytics. It's essential for our survival and just basically to measure where we're at, where are some deficits that we see, how can we improve our condition? Because a lot of people are hating on us bad and denying us resources and opportunities. I'm talking about the Bantu supremacists and the Anglo supremacists. And then you're going to have some mestizo supremacists, right? On all sides, you're going to have a lot of people who, because look at the numbers here, our numbers are growing. Our popularity is growing, our prominence in society is growing, and that's within the media, within sports, within motion picture, movies, television, music, Drake, Doja Cat, like everywhere in the public sphere of popularity, our presence is growing. In politics, you have out there in Texas, the senator, Colin Allred's going to run again for the Texas Senate, mulatto man, like around every sphere of influence in the United States, of science, politics, military, public service, medicine, academia, sports, motion picture, as I stated, music, radio. Like our influence is growing, our presence is growing. We're dominating all these fields, and people feel threatened by us, but we lack that representation. That is an issue. This is why you guys come to me. You tune in to hear me, because I'm pointing this out in a way, giving you these visuals to where it kind of makes sense, right? Not kind of, it should. You know, if you have a basic education, you could realize you got to be your own advocate. You look at this map here. Yeah, we got up here. When we go back, I was in SoCal, so all of California, where I'm from. Yeah, the mulattoes are there. Then you got Phoenix, Arizona. Mulattoes are there. This is New Mexico. So, and that's Albuquerque, and this other red dot, that's Texas. That's El Paso. So yeah, you're gonna have for sure some Blaxicans, but also people who are multiracial, but they're white and Hispanic, and they identify as such. So that's the key thing, is when analyzing this data, this is not mulatto specific. So the numbers, they could get kind of misconstrued, right? And in Texas, of course, you have a lot of mulattoes out there. These are the major city centers. You have San Antonio, you have Houston and Dallas, which are going to be the major ones. And then you have all these dots throughout the country here. But obviously, yeah, the major dots you see here, this is what Chicago, Illinois, and Florida. You have out here with this like South Florida for sure. A lot of mulattoes out there. New York, of course, New Jersey. We can go back to the Pacific Northwest. We have was that Seattle, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. So yeah, in these major city centers, you're going to have a large mixed race population that identify as such, as mixed race. I just want to share that. But then again, like I'm saying, guys, like This is 2020 report, but they say multiracial. They aren't saying mulatto. So when they say multiracial, you look at some of these places, you're like, yeah, I mean, these are probably people who are half white, half Hispanic, etc. So it's like that's not really, mulatto calculations. Just something to keep in mind. That's what I have for you guys. Let me check out your comments. Shout out to you guys. I'm gonna end this pretty much right now. just want to hop up on here and talk to you guys about that. Born biracial, Susan Graham, because I thought it was a worthy topic, worthy commentary to give, and I'll share the sources as well. If you guys aren't aware of the Mixed Race Studies, it's a website that they do calculate a lot. They bring a lot of data as far as a discussion. My whole goal here is the specificity with mulatto. Like, we're here, we're a demographic, we identify as such, so we have to reclaim that. And I'm just one guy doing my part, but it's such a beautiful thing. I see mixed lens. I'm seeing the mulatto mindset. I'm seeing El Mulaton. I'm seeing all of you guys, even another gentleman, 50 Shades of Gray, I believe is his title on TikTok. And I'm seeing you guys, the advocates, even the mulattas and mulattoes out there in the UK and England, and of course in Brazil, Beatrice, and all you guys. Like, I see what you guys are doing, and I really appreciate your guys' your work and advocacy. It's really helpful to us. And then shout out to Yal Show. He says, yes, on YouTube at times the mixed race women are often very vocal about being mulatto and biracial. Yeah, most definitely. Especially if they're over here. That's one thing to realize. They're over here, they support me, and they're mulatto women. They identify as mulatto. That's a key thing. And then also they have self-respect, they have manners, they're educated, of course. My audience is geared towards educated people. As you, Al, you're a college graduate, you work in journalism, you're educated, you know how to write, etc. And so that's the key thing with my audience. It's like the educated people tune in, and you guys are smarter than me. I'll proudly admit it. Like, I've never claimed to be the smartest guy. I'm just a guy with a voice. Like, I want the smart people to know that they're welcome here too, because you guys teach me. Like, I didn't know about Susan Graham. They put a comment and told me about Susan Graham. I was like, oh, thanks for sharing. I had no idea that this lady, Caucasian mother of her mulatto children, was an advocate for getting us a unique category on the census 20 years ago, was in this discussion, and she's writing books and stuff. I had no idea. So people share with me, and I'm proud of that people smarter than me kind of tune in and are willing to kind of share information, etc. But yeah, a lot of the women, especially if they support this channel, yeah, for sure, they're going to be strongly mulatto identified, and they have pride. It's a beautiful thing. And then you put shout out to you, Elroy Swartz, South African colored. The All Show says better to be Malcolm in the middle than last man standing. Yeah, that's a good one. Good quote. Yeah. Malcolm in the middle, right? Speaking on being stuck in the middle, and black people insist that we must choose a side. Yeah, do you want to choose a losing side? Don't say that, Mulatto Vanguard. That's so mean. I mean, when you base your whole identity off being a victim and oppressed, it's like that's not glamorous to anybody who has self-respect. That seems like a struggle. I don't know. I'm not into that. You need to pick a side, like Dr. Umar, some of these like Afrocentrics. You need to pick a side, man. I don't trust you. Okay, don't trust me. I'm not on your side. Go over there. They can't do that. They're still trying to find a way to kind of pull you back in, try to think how they can use you, right? It's straight up usury at this point. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, I ask these people, what do you get from it? Are they supporting your platform? Are they supporting your business, your social media endeavors? Like, what are they doing? Because like some of these women I encounter, like the ones who hate me, obviously, like, and they're like biracial baby mamas, and it's like their baby daddies aren't even supporting them. It's like all that caping and all that fighting and stuff, like pro black, whatever. It's like, but your father of your own kids are not even like helping you out with like school supplies, and they're not supporting you. And I'm sitting there like, that's such an L. Like, you cape so hard, but what are you getting from it? My whole thing here is to tell mulattoes, make sure they give you something. Like, I had a gentleman who consulted with me several months back, and his kind of business is centered around, helping black people. And he had an epiphany. He had kind of a conflict in his mind. and he didn't know who to talk. He basically consulted with me like I was a therapist. This is an older man. A man, he's not old, but he's older than me. I'm in my mid 30s, but the man is rich. He's a successful dude. He's like, what's your cost? I want to talk to you. Name your price. Like, okay, and so he just consulted with me because, like, basically, who else are you going to talk to? He wants to talk to a mulatto person and get some actual advice on how to move forward. I'd never tell that man to quit your job, quit your money. You're making money off them. You're in a position with them. Like, do what you do, man. Like, I told him just basically find another avenue to vent. Create a social media page where you don't have to, your anonymous page or whatever, and express your thoughts. Journal, write down notes. Like, talk about being mulatto. Like, he came to this epiphany moment where he realized he wasn't being his true self. He's a mulatto man, but he kind of built his career, his business and brand, etc., like kind of catering to black people, but he's become a leader amongst that in, has built his whole professional life around it. It's interesting. Some people you run into, but like for him, like I'm saying, he's winning because he's actually making money being involved in those kind of spaces. That makes sense to me when talking to that man. That's why I would never tell that man, you need to be like super mulatto identified and drop them. No, 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 no. I would never tell the men or women, like, do what you do. It supports you, support your business, your family, do you. Like that. I'm not in any position to tell these people like to give up their whole, who the hell am I? But yeah, as long as you're making money, you're supporting yourself and your family, etc., like, do that. Like, but I see some of these people struggling, like these struggle streamers jumping on YouTube, doing beefs, starting up beefs and starting up clout chasing, fighting with other content creators for clicks and views. And it's like struggling to get cash apps and super chats. And it's like, all for what? you know? And it's like, because your baby daddy ain't helping you out, paying you. Your baby daddy ain't there. That's why you're up, late at night, getting drunk, starting crap with other content creators. Like, for what? Like, your baby daddy ain't helping you out with the bills. Like that to me is just the epitome of struggling. And to me, it's such an L. So it's like, whatever. I'm just sidetracked. Yeah. Basically, you become their enemy if you don't choose. Yeah. You don't choose to be their punching bag, is what it is. A lot of people don't get that being biracial is a side. Yeah, we're biracial. Yeah, everyone over here has kind of chose the lane. It's very simple. It's not complex. Good to hear from you again. Yeah, Elwer Swartz. You have M. Batista in the house. Yeah, being mixed race or biracial is a position. Yeah. Yep. That's the thing. Identified mix don't have a master, but he put black people do. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, 100. It's the admixture games. Yeah, well, the thing is, people who are admixed or whatever, they have their little 30% colonizer DNA. They try to swear up and down their mix, like, okay, you're mixed, but go back over there with the LGBT, intersectional, feminist mixed stuff. That's different than what the mulatto people who are mulatto identified are doing. But they're trying to drag us into no, 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 no. I'm not having it. And I'm not the only one. Like, these other people, once they start developing some courage, they put some content out here and grow their following. Like, yeah, yeah. I think that most Black Americans have some admixture. Yeah, but it's very minimal. But they try to boast it up like they have this significant, like, we're all mixed race. They do that to invalidate and humble mixed people. They're trying, you're not special because you're light skinned and mixed. You just look like a light skinned black person. You're not special. We're all mixed. I don't give a damn what they're mixed with. Like, you're not mulatto. Okay. And that's the thing is, like, yeah, I'm not saying that they're not all, that a lot of them don't have admixture, but it's so insignificant. Why are they like someone blacker than like Wesley Snipes or Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Like, we don't look like none of these people because they're not the same as us. They're not the same race. So, like, do they have admixture? Possibly, maybe 6%, 7%. They try to, basically over exaggerate the numbers. When you find some of these people in your comment section, well, the average African American's got blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but that's like less than 10%. of non-black DNA. Maybe they got 1% Indian and like 6% or 8% like European. Like that's so insignificant when you're talking to someone who's like 55 or 60% European, 40% or African, whatever. Like we're not the same as them. But see, they want to invalidate you. That's what it is. Like, and like, I always get a kick out of that. They always try to lie. Well, most Black Americans are 20% European. Bullshit. We're looking at you people. You don't look like someone like Michael Jordan, LeBron James. I mean, my God, they run out here and try to pretend like they can lie to everybody with no data, no statistics, no stats. They just throw out these broad numbers. You know, they lie so much, man. It's so insulting. Well, most of African Americans are mixed. No. I mean, your minimal admixture. Most of you guys got less than 10%. Even those who have more than that, okay, it doesn't make you mulatto. I don't claim Beyonce. She ain't mulatto. And Rihanna, Riri, you guys like her. I don't claim her either. She's not mulatto. And I know with all this mixed race stuff, oh, she's mixed, she's mixed. Okay, cool, she's mixed. Yeah, that's cool. Rihanna, that's cool. She's not mulatto. Okay. Sage Steele, she's mulatto. All right. Doja Cat, she's mulatto. Meghan Markle, she's mulatto. Yeah. 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 I'm letting you know. Because I see some people, they do the whole mixed race stuff and like they bring up Rihanna. First off, because I don't like her music either. She's kind of ghetto music, and look who she chose to be her baby daddy. I mean, that there you go. I'm not trying to endorse anybody like that, but she's not mulatto. Okay, I don't know what the hell she is. I think she's Griff or something. She's like 70% African and like 30% European, whatever. That's not a mulatto. All right. You said 20% or less. 20% is being way too generous. They want you to believe that. They want you to see someone like Wesley Snipes and act like he's 20% European and that he's basically the same as, Barack Obama or something. They want to trick you. Like, see, they want to blur the lines because they're the majority. They're like the darker skin. So they want to have dominion over you. They want to trick the mulatto people into identifying with them. That's why, like, their strategy, they're very specific. They understand the identity component. They want to trick you to identify with them so they could be the majority and make the rules. So they can talk shit about you being light skinned and you got a white mom and that's your white side coming out. But then you mention anything about their black mom or that they're dark skinned, they're going to whine and cry for the next 500 years. And I ask these mulattoes, why do you tolerate it? Why do you put up with it? How is this acceptable? You see the double standard. You see the arrangement that they have laid out. We were like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, you need your own space, your own environment where you can thrive and have a community, a group of people who understand you, relate to you, and who want to support you. For me, my whole thing is I'll never beg you guys to sign up for a membership or beg you guys to hit the Cash App or beg for the support. Like, I want people who are proud to support me. And I do have a lot of you people. And I love that about you guys. That's why I continue to do what I'm doing. I love this community, the mulatto community. Like, I want people who are proud to support me. That gives me a lot of like courage and encouragement. I want people who are proud to support me. I'm not going to just out here begging for support. And I have a guy here. He put, I don't know his comment. Let me see. Ether Gnosis, brief description account episodes. I don't know what you're putting. I don't know. It would be interesting to know how many Black Americans have some admixture, even if it's only a little bit. What percentage? Yeah. They try to they conflate it with admixture and being MGM. So someone who has admixture, they're claiming they're MGM or something. They're mixed. Like, okay, I get it, whatever, but you're not mulatto. So, you know, there might be other channels. Like I said, if you go to like some of these other spots, they'll play around with you because it's like they're in some kind of intersectionalities club. I mean, a lot of the mixed shit. I'm telling you, I've been around in these spaces for a few years now. So, and that's typically what you have. If it's not mulatto specific, that's what you have. It's just yeah. It'd be interesting to how many yeah, there's a difference between having minimal admixture and actually being mixed. Big difference, right? Naomi Zach sounds familiar. You think you read her book several years ago? I recently learned that when the term colored was introduced to us in South Africa, the word mulatto was also considered as an option. That means that we were almost also mulatto. Interesting. Uh, Dr. Umar. Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Umar is there's a guy who created a whole channel to basically kind of, keep tabs on Dr. Umar and troll him essentially. And I don't like a lot of the methods, like the smear campaign stuff. Like, there's a guy, Lennon Honor, I think his name is, and I watch some of his streams. He's kind of funny. I mean, he has his audience and stuff, but sometimes, yeah, these people, and that's their community. That's the toxicity of their community. They take it too far, man. They run smear campaigns on people in their own community. They make up lies and false allegations. It's like my whole thing is let's get the fuck away from them. And this is what they do to their own. They do this to their own in their own community. So if you're dabbling around in those circles and you get close to them, they're going to try to do that to you. Like we got to get these people the hell up out of it. If they're toxic, they trolls and like the smear campaigns, we got to get them the hell up out of here. Don't even pay them any attention or give them any acknowledgement. Get them up out of here because their whole goal is to sabotage everything we're doing. And that's the issue. And they come from that community, that black community. That's why, like, I see like with Lennon, Dr. Umar, and then this guy who built his channel off Dr. Umar, Lennon Honor, where it's like it's one thing to hold the guy accountable, but I don't agree with Lennon Honor. Like he's some of the stuff, the rhetoric he's saying is like just straight up smear campaign, trying to like destroy the man's like credibility. Like if you want to say he's a scammer, okay, that's okay. But they bring up some other shit where they don't even have like the evidence or to like support their claim. And it's like that only can pass in the black community. No other race, no other group will take these type of people seriously. You're like, wait a second. If you're accusing this person of something, you better have some receipts. But see, in that community, it's just the allegations, they just run with it. Like what they're trying to do with Drake, trying to put false, labels on him, and they're just running with it. And every other race and community is looking at it like you guys don't have any influence out here. You guys, all you do is talk. Like Drake just had a concert in England, and it's like people are always going to support the man. They like his music. They like what he's selling, his product, his art, his performance. It's just crazy. I tell self-respecting mulattoes like you got to get away from these toxic people who are trying to destroy you. And then you put he's a clown who has become a ringmaster. Yeah, exactly. I love when Pan-Africanists and FBA pretendians, right, fight with each other. I also enjoy seeing black supremacists and white supremacists fight. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely get down and dirty in Twitter, right? And X. The thing is, they come together when they agree upon attacking mulattoes. That's kind of the tricky part there. As I see them, the black supremacists, white supremacists, they fight each other. And even like you said, the Pan-Africanists and then like the FBAs. So the black Americans who are nativists, black American FBA versus like the Nigerian Americans or Jamaican Americans or Haitian Americans, right? They call it immigrants, is what they'll say, right? Immigrant, which is true, but the nativist kind of FBA, pretendian Black American types, they go to war with all these other, like splintering their own kind of racial group, right? And some people would say that about me, Mulatto Vanguard, you're splintering. We should just be one mixed race. No, no, because I've already seen how this works. Because a mulatto person who has a black parent and a white parent, or two mulatto parents, we're not the same as someone like who's got an Asian parent and a white. We're not the same, or a Hispanic parent and with like a white parent. What we're not the same. We're not. Let's be honest. Let's be real with ourselves, okay, guys. It's not hateful or mean to basically point out the reality, But how they try to get us all together under the one umbrella is under intersectionality, and I'm against it. I don't endorse it as a straight man. I don't endorse intersectionality. Again, I hate MAGA. I'm anti MAGA. I don't like Donald Trump in the MAGA crowd. That doesn't make me a liberal. Does that make sense? Because people try to put these extremes on you, these labels and extreme labels on you. It's like, no, I'm right leaning. I'm a proud American, gun owning American. That I just don't like MAGA. The cult is just too weird. It's too weird how they allow this guy to get away with everything. But everybody else out here, they want to hold you accountable. But this one guy, their cult leader, Donald Trump, they just allow him to say and do whatever he wants. They think it's funny and it's cute. No, I'm not with that. That doesn't make me a fucking liberal because I'm against the cult of MAGA. So I want to throw that out there. People want to put these kind of extremist kind of extreme labels on you and stuff. I'm just not with it. Right, I saw one of those mixed race disgraces in a chat elsewhere. I made my displeasure known about her. You talking about the town drunk? The town the town drunk. I know who you're talking about. I wonder if there is foundational biracial American group. I don't know. Shout out to you. Yeah, Dr. Umar, he put supremacist. Yeah. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah. And he opens up the door for mixed people to identify as black so he can use us. He wants to hoodwink mixed people into identifying as black because he wants us to be their subordinates. So he's one of those guys where he's like, well, if you're mixed race, I'll claim you, but you got to identify as black, right? That's his whole thing. But he wants to use you to get information from white people. He wants to use us as tools and proxies. Like, yeah, so he's a black supremacist 100. Yeah, Dr. Umar. Yeah, Lenin Honor. Yeah, I went in his chat a few years ago. He's been on Umar's ass for several years. Yeah, he's been doing it for a while. He built his whole channel, and black people super chat him, support him. I'll tune into his stream. I'm like, damn, black people are giving you cash apps to talk shit about another black person. That's crazy. Like he built his whole brand, like with his YouTube channel off, collecting receipts on Umar. It's kind of crazy to watch. Like I said, I'm not against him holding, other people accountable, etc. But I have an issue in their community where they do the smear campaigns, the false allegations, and they don't even provide receipts. They just throw out allegations. And then other people kind of like co-sign it. I'm like, that's some black American community shit where they can because other races, they don't play that. Like if you're going to make like these serious claims on people, you got to actually have receipts and proof, not some fake Photoshop bullshit and fake receipts. Because some of these people, they're literally, their profession is to be like novelists. They're fiction writers. They actually write books, fiction books. They literally write fake stories professionally. And these are the same people who jump on YouTube and create fake narratives about other people, other creators that they don't like. And you got to basically analyze this stuff. So, yeah, I guess the money and super chats, cash apps going out like I just read it, finished your comment. That's what I was saying. It's crazy. I tuned in one of his streams and it's like this guy, black people are giving him cash apps and stuff, man, to talk crap about Umar. It's kind of weird to witness, and I'm not a fan. I met Umar several years ago, at least a decade ago, 2016 in Long Beach, so I met Umar. But it's crazy to see how this guy, Lenin Honor, built his whole channel talking crap about Umar, and other black people like cash app him, supporting him, talking shit. It's weird, man. I don't know. It's very weird. The mixed people, they keep arguing with me, calling themselves black or so uneducated. Yeah. The mixed people that keep arguing with me, calling themselves, yeah, they're the worst. Black identified mixed people are the worst. I mean, they're worse than even black people who don't like mixed people, because I think black people don't like mixed people. Yeah, they'll hate watch and stuff, and they'll talk crap, etc. But black identified mixed people, they're the worst because their pathway to blackness is to hate to do black people's dirty work. So they have to work extra hard. Where a black person might just make a dumb comment on one of my pages or talk crap or something, and they'll just go away and do whatever it is that they do. I don't know. But the black identified mixed person, they will make it their life mission to hate on me or to hate on other mixed people who identify as mixed, because like that's their golden ticket, their entryway to get into blackness, for black acceptance. They have to be the foot soldiers of black people. It's very sad and pitiful to see, but there's a lot of them. Like they have to do black people's dirty work. So they're going to be the worst. I mean, they're going to be the ones who are the most outspoken, the biggest haters. I had a dude, some incel guy, you know, some passport pookie incel guy who like was clout chasing, hating on me for over 2 years on YouTube. And he was going to TikTok as well, finding clips of these racist people, racist mixed people who hate mulattoes. Like he was finding clips, posting it to his YouTube channel, acting like he did something special. And he's a mixed guy who identifies as black. And like for 2 years, this guy was clout chasing off me, trying to build his struggle channels. I'm like, what the hell? Just get your passport and go do your little sex tours. What the hell do I care? I don't care about this guy, but he kept trying to clout chase off my name. But see, he's black identified. That's what it is. Like they will fight so hard for black people, more than black people will. Like I don't, I've noticed that from doing this type of content, especially on YouTube, where like, man, you got the biracial baby mamas, and then you have the incel black identified biracial guys. Like, fuck, man, then they're gonna go hard in the paint for black people. You're anti-black, you're racist, mulatto vanguard. Let me make a video on you. It's like, well, okay, yeah. Shout out to you, mulatto mindset in the house. Shout out to you. MAGA is simply anti-biracial as far as I'm concerned. It's an admixture. It's an mixture of far right types and alt right types. They don't want mixed race people. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, MAGA is not for mulattoes. I mean, I don't see the mulatto for the, there's so many mulattoes who are grifters, man, in this whole Republican shit, and even the right wing, of course, but with the left wing, excuse me. But with the left wing is they get involved in some kind of weird ideologies. Like I said, the intersectional feminisms type of stuff. So they get involved in like this misandrist rhetoric or this just LGBT rhetoric, where it's like, look, if they do what they do in their bedroom, I don't care. Like, but when they jump out here and it's misandry that's the issue I have with like the LGBT thing, is like they try to hide their misandry, where they will throw a man under the bus at the drop of a hat, no questions asked, but they will protect the female, right? Even if the female is wrong and does something wrong, she has behavior that's questionable. We're like, hey, you got to check this. Her behavior is out of pocket. You got to correct this. Like they'll have a big issue, like trying to correct a problematic lady. But with a man, they will be so quick to throw that man in a dumpster. And that's the issue I challenge, is like the misandry that they try to normalize. That's the big thing I push back with the whole lesbianism and LGBT stuff, the whole feminism, where it's just there's too much misandry. They think they're going to throw the rest of us, the men, under the damn bus, but they still want you guys to support them. They want you guys to financially support them. They want you guys to do all the work. They want you to be the protector. They want you to be that strong advocates. They want you to be on the front lines advocating for them, but they think they can just throw men under the bus in the trash and that their ass isn't going to be checked or challenged. And I've been seeing this for a while, and they get mad at me. Of course they're going to get mad at me because I'm calling a spade a spade. I'm like, look, I don't care what you do in the bedroom with your partner. That's your business. But don't come out here and think you're going to throw this man under the bus. And then when this lady who does the same thing or even worse, you want to grant her privileges. I'm not playing with you people. Okay, leave that stuff where you're at, wherever you're at. But this is a mulatto spot. Everyone, we're all going to be held accountable. The men, the women, we're all equal here. And if anything, I praise the women more than anything, because look at the Renata Mulata has a petition. Flowers, another lady, has a petition. And then Mixed Lens has a petition. So if anything, I promote the women as being the standard, because they're doing a lot of the work with these petitions and the advocacy. Like, so it's like, if anything, I'm, What else do you guys want? Like, I just will not allow you guys to have to hold these double standards. Like this misandry shit, it's just there's too much of this stuff where they think it's acceptable just because he's a guy, just throw his ass under the bus. But then you have a lady who does the same or even worse, and they be able to get away with too much shit. No, man. No, people have to be held accountable for their actions. Shout out to UK. Shout out to the UK. I love the UK. I love mulattoes in the UK. It's funny when black people say they are Indian and then get mad at mixed people. Yeah, they want to be us. Yeah, shout out to you. Yeah, I know. They're pretendians. They try to claim to be Indian and stuff. It's embarrassing. Mixed people got to accept that we are mixed. Yeah, I mean, we have to. If you want to claim that we're better, it's easy to say that, but we have to prove it. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, black, white, Hispanic, Asian. I'm not better than anybody. I mean, we just have to prove if we're going to make these claims, if we're the best and we're this and that. For me, I will publicly say, yeah, mulattas are the best looking women. That's the preference I have. I'm not going to be out here saying mulattoes were the best looking men. I don't give a damn. I already know like my abilities and what I can attract. Like I'm not out here trying to like be a fashion person or anything like that. But I think yeah, mulatto women are the most beautiful women, whether they're in England, they're in America, they're in Brazil, Dominican Republic. Personally, my preference, I'd say mulattoes are the most attractive. I'm sticking to that. I'll defend that. But as far as how we're better, I mean, the metric academically or athletically wise, yeah, we definitely have a lot of advantages. But we got to prove. That's the thing. We have to prove. This is Elroy. How are colored women towards mixed mulatto men in South Africa? That's a good question. We need more colored content creators to basically highlight that and specify. All constantly make the point that white people don't see them as white. It's such a lack of intelligence. They are not fully white either. It makes sense, right? Some of these mixed race people are very self-hating, anti-biracial. Yeah, even though they're biracial, they hate the concept of being biracial. These are the ones who call themselves black biracials. They have to throw biracial people under the bus to get closer to black people, get black acceptance. They're going to be your biggest enemies. It's not going to be black people. Let me repeat. It's not going to be black people or racist white people. You just get the hell away from them. If there's someone who's against you, doesn't like you, you just move away from them. Very simple. Problem solved. It's going to be the black identified, the black biracial types. You know, they don't like Drake, but they love Kendrick because they want to prove their blackness. They will throw every biracial under the friggin' bus to prove black people that they're a part of they're the good biracials, right? Biracial baby mama. Be like, Mulatto Vanguard so racist, right? Mulatto Vanguard so racist. He's anti-black, right? This is a black baby mama or biracial baby mama. Might as well be a black baby mama. All that caping for the community and shit. You got a black audience. You don't have a biracial audience. Okay. It might as well be a black baby mama at that point, even though you got a white mama raised in the friggin' trailer park. It's just pathetic. Yeah, these are going to be the people who are going to be the most anti-biracial because they have to fight black people's battles to fit in with them. They just want to be black and are frustrated when they aren't entirely accepted as or seen as black. They hate being seen as mixed. Yeah, yeah, and they'll openly say that they're a subgroup. Like, we are a subgroup to black people. We were on the plantation right next to black people. Bitch, how do you know you're on the plant? This is like a 48-year-old, 50-year-old grandma acting like she was around in the 1820s on the plantation. And they're not smart either. She's dumb. Try to act like she's reading history books, talking about the plantation and stuff. You don't know what you're talking about, you know. And the Owl Show knows who I'm talking about too. Some idiot who's a drunk criminal who jumps online talking crap, false allegations, always starting the gender war crap, trying to act like she's was around back in the 1800s
Biracial people were on the plantation with black people too. We are a subgroup to, she's that's a language that they'll use. A subgroup. What? Get out of here. Like it's yeah, whatever. Colored women interact mostly with colored men. Mixed mulatto men are not that many, but colored women are open to them as well. And then you put, oh yeah, I remember that prick you mentioned. He tried to bait me by attacking me for no reason in a video. I told him I would teach him some manners. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, he's a incel, basically passport pookie incel guy. And I don't know, man. He for like over 2 years. It's crazy. That dude was like trying to build his little platform, attacking me. It's like he didn't really grow, man. It's like I don't care if you want to go on your sex tours, and Dominican Republic or wherever. I don't care, bro. Go do that. Just like you're gonna try to like frame me as like a racist guy to what black people. It's like okay, man, you're not doing nothing special, man. There's already other people doing that crap on social media. It's just it's very pathetic, flawed strategy. Massachusetts. Yeah, it's funny. I've never been to Massachusetts. Never been to Boston or Massachusetts. I know there's a lot of Brazilians out there. Never been to that New England spot. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be a reason. I think for me, it would be like to tour the kind of Ivy League universities, whatever. There's no real reason for me to go to Boston. I know it's a sports city, or you said Massachusetts, a state. Yeah. Um, but like Boston specifically, or whatever. I don't know. There's no reason. Like I look at a destination to go to, like what attracts me to that spot. It's got to, something specific. What kind of sparks my interest? And I don't know, Boston. There's nothing. I don't know there. Like I'm gonna probably go back to San Diego in a couple months to chill on the beach out there and talk to some old friends in San Diego. So that's what attracts me there. I don't know. I was gonna go to Florida, go back to Florida, but I don't think so anytime soon. I was gonna connect with a friend out there. But yeah, I'll do California, go back to the West Coast, because I got a lot of people out there, and I don't know, like it just depends on the city, the state, the location. If there's something that interests me, then I'll go there. And just in Massachusetts, I don't know, there's nothing there really that kind of sparks my interest um to go there. So I don't know. The color more open to mixed mulatto man as opposed to black men since they are also mixed. Trevor Noah is South African mulatto who dated a colored woman. Yeah. Yep. Everyone's ancestors were slaves at one point in time. Yeah, it's like classism. They talk about class. Being a slave is a class. It's just the Vatican made it a racial thing to basically pay back the the Berbers and North Africans and the Moors, etc., for their occupation of Southern Europe. That's where the Vatican came in and gave these nations kind of the right to go, like the Portuguese, Spanish, etc., French, to go enslave Africans and use them for labor. Many theories out there is that, yeah, this is basically a payback from when the Moors and North Africans, because the Vatican they've been doing these crusades with the Arab world for centuries, right? So they've been having these wars going for centuries. So, um, yeah, but it was the Vatican who basically made it to where your race, your skin color, you could be deemed as being a slave, right? Just based off your skin color, right? That was the Vatican. Um, yeah, because prior to that, even Africa, you've had slaves and castes and their own tribal systems, and in same thing in in Americas, North Central South with the Aztecs. If they were a tribe that was conquered or captured, they'd make that tribe a slave. You watch that movie, I watched it a couple weeks ago, Apocalypto. That's what that whole movie was about. Apocalypto was they had a slave caste system. The tribe that was conquered, they'd sell off the women, sell off the men. They would keep them as workers or sacrifice them or make them slaves. Like this has existed in humanity for years, and even the Roman Empire, where they have a slave caste system in Egypt and all. So all over the world you've had, so that's classism. This concept with, like you said, slavery. You said everyone ancestors were slaves at one point in time. Yeah, that's has to do with classism. It's just with the centuries, with 5, 6 centuries ago, with the Vatican, with the European kind of transatlantic slave trade, that's when they kind of made it more so where they've implemented this race concept. You put they are usually the biracial that are uneducated and desperate for acceptance. Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad individuals. Yeah. And then you put here most Cape Verdeans live in Boston. Yeah, that's what's up. I'll just go to Cape Verde, learn some Portuguese, go back to Dominican Republic, instead of going to Boston. I don't know, man. I know they got a lot of Brazilians in Boston and stuff. I just don't. There has to be something that interests me there, like historic sites and history. I know Boston has a lot of history, but it's a sports city. I know they got the Red Sox and Celtics and all that, but it's just, you know, it's not on my map. Go to Boston. I rather go to Hong Kong or Hanoi, Vietnam. I know one of the ladies from the UK. She likes to travel and stuff. So like I got some other like destinations on my mind. I just got back from like Colombia and Costa Rica, and it's like it's hard to top some spots like that. Like Costa Rica is very nice. It's hard to top that. You go to these nice beaches and shit. you know, it's hard to top that. Go to Boston. I'm thinking of Boston. I no hate to Boston, the people out there, but I'm like, why, bro? Like, I'd rather spend some money and go somewhere like super nice. Like, go chill on the beach, go jump on a motorcycle, ATV, go to the mountains and chill with the locals, eat some fresh food. I don't know, man. Boston is just, it's not on my radar. I'm just going to keep it 100. Mixed race people should date each other. The mixing of cultures would also help keep things interesting because mixed race people tend to have vibrant and colorful cultures. Yeah, I agree. I'm open for that. That's cool. Yeah. I definitely have a preference for mulattoes in group preference, but I like the sound of that as well. I would love to visit South Africa. Yeah, me too. Elroy Swartz here. He's from South Africa. Yeah, I definitely want to go to Victoria. Is that in South Africa, right? Cape Town, Johannesburg. Yeah, yeah, definitely South Africa is on the list for sure. One of my destinations I want to go to. Shout out to you guys. I'm going to end this right now. I appreciate you guys being here. Hit the like button, share the stream. If you know somebody, you have a friend, you think they will find value in my content, please share it. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being here, your support to all of you guys. This is a global community at this point, this global mulatto community. It's a beautiful thing that we have developed here with, of course, you guys are everything with your help. I'm nothing without you. And I appreciate you guys being here. So until next time, beautiful people, adios.